YouTube. Good morning, YouTube. How y'all doing? It's Sunday morning. Time for Cruise Chat Live. We are live on TikTok and YouTube simultaneously. Good to see everybody. As always, I am Walter, your independent travel advisors. Good to see y'all. Welcome to the show. And as always, my wife, Rebecca, is sitting right off camera. We're here to talk cruising, cruise news, cruise specials, cruise anything, and try to answer as many questions as we can during the next, 60 to 90 minutes or so. I hope everybody's doing well. I want to know if anybody's going out on a cruise today or going out on a cruise this week. Hey, John, Norma, Cindy, how is everybody doing? Good to see y'all over there. Thank you so much for joining in. Now, as always, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. And of course, click the like buttons and all that good stuff to let YouTube and TikTok know that you actually like what we're doing, because we really enjoy what we're doing here. And we love spending our Sunday mornings with y'all. I'm so glad this has kind of turned into a thing. It's kind of fun. And today, you can't see him on YouTube, but I've got a little chef hanging out with me today. You know, it's always a good day when you got a little chef hanging out with you. I think we're going to get him to make his famous ratatouille a little bit later. Why not? But how's everybody doing? I just did a TikTok. I don't know if y'all saw it, but some, hey, Katie, how are you? Another reminder why you need to have travel insurance and why you really, really should have passports. Even on the short closed loop cruises, a couple of Americans were in Cozumel, Mexico. They rented a scooter. You know, a lot of people rent scooters. They go to the beach. Well, on the way back, they were involved in a hit and run. They were actually knocked unconscious. They required going to the hospital. Of course, they missed the ship. The Carnival Paradise left Cozumel, and they do not have passports. At least one of them does not have health insurance. So they are actually stuck in Mexico right now. They're going to have to work with the U.S. Embassy to get out of Mexico. And one of them has something like up to $20,000 or more in medical bills, and the hospital's not going to release her until they get paid. And apparently that's a common practice in Mexico. So please, I hate seeing stories like this, because if you had a passport, it would be rather easy to get out. And of course, if you had good travel insurance, that would take care of the whole, $10,000 to $20,000 for you. So please, consider getting passports at the very least. So if something happened, there's only a 4-day cruise out of Tampa. What could go wrong on a 4-day cruise? Well, unfortunately, something like this did happen. So, hey, Joey is getting on the Wonder of the Seas. Well, that's something good to talk about. The Wonder of the Seas, currently the largest ship out there until January. Man, have you all seen the Icon of the Seas video? Like there's an aerial shot of it now flying by. It's a ship now, people. It is a ship, and she looks like she's ready to sail. So, yeah, Kath, I bet Spencer does have it. Spencer's great. I've been trying to get him to come on to one of our Thursday nights on YouTube. But he is so freaking busy. But what I love about Spencer Arnold, if you're not following him over on the on TikTok, you really should be. His name is Spencer Arnold. He is a lawyer. And typically, these cruise ship lawyers, I'm not a big fan of them, but Spencer I like because he's very balanced in his reporting, right? He's very, very balanced in what he talks about, and he seems like he's a good guy. So I would totally recommend that you guys check out his page. I usually check out his channel almost every single day. Good morning, Kath. How are you? Hey, good morning, Benny. How are you? And Nurse Tara's here. How are you? Good to see you. Mike is in the house. How you all doing? But yeah, so, again, another sad story, out of Mexico, but, you guys really should consider having a passport. We've had a passport ever since we started cruising. We have travel insurance every single time we go on a cruise, because you don't need it until you need it. And my goodness, a 4-day cruise, what could possibly go wrong on a 4-day cruise?
And I will confess, I am kind of accident prone. So
Rebecca's very accident prone. So we have visited the medical center one time on the Norwegian Getaway. Was it?
Yep.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Really nice facility, but even those facilities on the ship are expensive as well. Jerry, good morning. New York, good morning. How's everybody doing? As always, if you're new to the channel, I'm Walter, your independent travel advisor. And if we can help you in any way with your cruises or any kind of travel, certainly do reach out. All of our contact information is on the YouTube channel. Contact information is in our little logo there on the TikTok channel, or you can just go to where'swaltertravel.com. We'd be happy to help out. Good morning, Christy. How are you? Yes, Mike, you've got to cover all of your bases. Sexy Mama, how are you? You're attending a wedding on embarkation and then cruise after. Where do I put my luggage? They will direct you on that when you come onto the ship. Just talk to the terminal and the crew, the terminal agent, and then the crew as you're coming up on board. They're going to direct you. They're probably going to have like a little holding space somewhere on the ship for you guys to keep your luggage until the cruise is ready to go. Or they may even just keep it off to the side of the room. But I'm sure there's going to be some sort of holding room or something. Just check with the terminal agent and the crew as you board the ship. Good morning, Kurt. How are you? User 319, you just got off the Equinox, lost your luggage getting on, and gave you $800 of next cruise. Is that good enough?
I guess it depends on what was in your luggage.
Yeah, depends on what was in your luggage. I mean, did you have more than $800 worth of stuff in your luggage? I'm actually shocked they lost your luggage getting on, but probably one of the porters left it. My guess would be one of the porters left it at the terminal, would be my guess. But yeah, I think $800 of next cruise is pretty good. I don't know what else you're going to get. Nurse Tara, you loved our Oceana interview on Thursday. If you have not seen that, this past Thursday night on YouTube, and it's up there right now for live replay, we did 1 hour with Oceana Cruises. Oceana Cruises is nearly all inclusive. And it was a great 1 hour conversation introducing the cruise line to a lot of y'all. They're nearly all inclusive. All the meals, beer and wine with your meals, up to 1,600 inshore excursions. The flights are really, really reasonable to get you pretty much anywhere in the world. So if you've never heard of Oceana Cruises, or maybe you think, oh my God, they're like this ultra luxury, super expensive cruise line. They're actually not. They're rather reasonably priced. And they're kind of that mid-level. So you got Celebrity, Virgin, Princess, maybe Holland America. They're like at the top of the luxury for mainstream. Then you got Regent, Viking, Seabourn. Actually, even Viking, it's very reasonable. Viking Ocean, very, very reasonable as well, as we're finding out.
It depends on what you're comparing Oceana to.
Well, that's true. That's true.
If you're comparing it to Carnival or MSC,
no,
it's a ton more expensive.
No, but if you're somebody who cruises on, Celebrity, Princess, Holland, or maybe you're in the Haven on NCL, Oceana, definitely worth a look. Or maybe you're just tired of being nickel and dime. You're like, okay, I'm paying $3,000 for a balcony, but then I end up spending like another, $4,000 on the ship. Well, now you're right in Oceana territory. So
and they have like right around 1.5 crew members for every passenger.
Yeah, it's like more crew members almost than passengers, or there were more crew members than passengers. I can't even remember, but it was really close. There is 1 crew member for every 1.5 passengers. Yeah, it's like. But anyway, it's way higher than most other cruise lines. Yeah, to Oceana, 670 to 1,200 passengers. That's all their ships hold. They're really, really nice. So, hey, Becky Bergeron, how are you? Good to see you. Good morning. 45 days to Mariner of the Seas. Oh man, I love Mariner. That is a great ship. Make sure you check out the Bamboo Bar. So much fun. I love that. Michael, you always get insurance. The wife fell last May in a Harmony and broke her shoulder. Yeah, Rebecca sprained her ankle when we were on the NTL Escape. I mean, you just never know. No, the Getaway. You just never know. It's like you don't need travel insurance until you need travel insurance. And even getting treated on the ship, it's expensive. It's much more expensive than going to your local doctor. I mean, you think it's expensive going to your local doctor. Wait till you get the bill from the cruise ship.
And most U.S.-based health insurance will not cover you on a ship or in a foreign country.
Yeah.
So there may be some kind of insurance out there from the U.S. that does. But I would say the vast, vast majority don't.
And Cindy says she doesn't have a cruise countdown. She needs to book an appointment. You need to book an appointment today, Cindy. We need to get you booked on a cruise. Yes, absolutely. Good morning, HB Progressive. How are you? New York, New York. If I don't drink on a daily basis, should I get the drink package? Probably not. No, I mean, if you're not going to get most drink packages, you're going to have to drink around 6 alcoholic drinks per day just to even break even, maybe a couple of coffees, things like that. So as we always say, do the math. You look at how much the drink package costs versus how much are you going to drink. And, when you do that math, you have to see, well, if the coffees are included, and you look at your coffees, your mocktails, your beer, your wine, your cocktails, you kind of add all of that up. And are you going to break even? But if you don't drink on a daily basis, pretty much we can say no.
Although on Virgin Voyages, maybe.
Yeah.
Because they do it very differently.
Fired up to you're not going to pay for a passport when you have open borders, 50 plus closed circuit cruises. Well, as I just mentioned at the top of the show, we have a couple of Americans who are stuck in Mexico right now because they got injured in a hit and run accident. They can't leave Mexico until they get passports. So that's why we highly recommend.
I'm really
getting
not
passports.
sure what it costs for them to get emergency passports from the embassy or consulate in Mexico.
Probably going to cost around the same, if not more. It's just getting a passport. So,
but that is your prerogative.
Thank you,
certainly.
Mike. Oh, he called you my my lovely side host. I love that. You're welcome, Sexy Mama. What are the cheapest times to cruise? Trying to plan for 2024. If you're just talking about the cheapest time to actually get just to book a cruise and to take a cruise, honestly, January, February, right after the holidays, you know, everybody's back to work. All the kids are back in school. January, February is a really good one.
After the holidays, before spring break.
Yeah. And then after the kids go back to school. So in August, all the kids are going back to school. Like the month of September can be really, really good. The beginning of October, once we start sliding into the back half of October, you get into the Halloween cruises. But really, the absolute cheapest time to cruise would be January, February, right in that range. Absolutely. If you're just talking about the cruise fare itself. So, yeah. John Tober is saying, do we really think Celebrity will lower the retreat fares? No. They never said they were going to. Now that they're taking away gratuities and OBC as part of the fare. No, they never said they were going to lower in fact, they haven't said they're going to lower anything. I just assumed that they would lower the all-included package for everything below the retreat. But now it doesn't even look like they're going to do that. They're taking away the gratuity, but I think they're going to leave that all-included package at $75 a day. So Celebrity never said they were going to lower the price for the retreat.
But you won't know for sure till October when those.
I mean, we haven't gotten any information yet that says one way or the other what they're doing. So, but I don't expect Celebrity to lower anything for the retreat. I was expecting the below the retreat to get an adjustment from that $75, but we just have to wait and see. Thank you, Becky. I'm glad you liked the Oceana interview. That was a great interview, and I'm going to start pulling some clips. They're going to start popping up here on TikTok very shortly. I've downloaded it so I can start uploading those things too. That was even better than I thought it was going to be. Guillaume was fabulous. What was hilarious is we were holding him up from going to a soccer game. He had to get to a soccer game right afterward. We were chatting. He's like, look, I really got to go. I got to go play some soccer. So that was awesome. He's all the way out in Vancouver, British Columbia. So Stacy, how are you? I hope you're having an amazing day. Good morning. Guess who? Melissa, what about Cunard? Cunard. So here's the thing about Cunard. Great cruise line, but they are extremely traditional. So you do have a serious dress code. Like if you want to go to certain restaurants, you have to be dressed a certain way. If you want to do certain things, you have to be dressed a certain way. There are certain rules. As Rebecca just said, they don't just have a dress code. They literally have like a little brochure of photographs of how they would like you to dress. So Cunard is like the gold standard. They are the top of the line white glove service. Nothing wrong with that. And I definitely, what I want to do is I want to take Cunard across the pond. I want to do a river cruise and then maybe take Cunard back across the pond so I can go both ways without getting on a plane. But you do have to understand they are very traditional and they are very strict about those rules. Great cruise line, though. Great cruise line. So, Crystal, you're doing Virgin in October. My thoughts, they're amazing. So right on TikTok, I've got a whole playlist from Scarlet Lady. Or if you go to YouTube, I've got a big playlist on the Scarlet Lady. I think over 20 videos. I've got a food tour. I've got our cabin tour. I've got an overall review. I sing karaoke. If you really want to see that, I think you should, but that's just me. Rebecca does not watch it.
Well,
but Virgin Voyages is nice because it is so nearly all-inclusive. That's what I love about it. There's no nickel and diming. Once you get on the ship, they're not going to be pushing any packages on you. There's no photographers. It's a really relaxed way of cruising. I do love it. We actually have an 8-night cruise coming up on the Valiant Lady for Thanksgiving.
62 days.
62 days until we get on the Valiant Lady. We're taking a group of, I think, 25 people with us on that one. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That ship is sold out too. So, hey, Amber's on MSC right now. Surprisingly good line. That's a great comment. Because there's so much negativity out there on MSC and you're like, oh my God, when I get on here, it's going to be awful. you know, for if you accept MSC for what it is, it's a very good cruise line. We gave it a 7 overall compared to the 9 cruise lines that we have been on, but we give it an 8.5 for value, because what you're paying for MSC and what you get, it's a really good value and really good service. The food was much better than I expected it to be, and I loved Ocean Key. I thought Ocean Key was a fabulous island. So yes, that's a great comment there. So Cal70, can't wait to book with us. Yay! And you're still looking over the options. And I love that comment, because that's one of the things that we do as travel advisors. And in fact, we've been doing this a lot with clients of late, where they may bring us one cruise or they don't even know, and we just start presenting cruises that they didn't even know existed. And just last week, Ben and David, you know, we knew about Celestial Cruises, but we had never really looked into Celestial Cruises. They're a small Greek cruise line. Oh my gosh, they've got some great itineraries. They're smaller, they're older ships, but they've got some great itineraries at great prices. So that's one of the things that we really pride ourselves on, is, you know, showing you options that maybe you didn't realize existed. And that's one of the big differences working with an independent travel advisor like us and just calling the cruise line. The cruise line is going to make sure you don't leave. You know, if you call Celebrity, it's their job to keep you on the phone and do not let you leave to go talk to, you know, Princess or Holland America or Virgin or any of those guys. Whereas, you know, we're going to present them all, because we just want you to have the best cruise. So that's great. I'm so glad you said that. Macrina, hey, you just got off the Celebration. Lovely, the Carnival Celebration. Oh, the new MDR items were fantastic. So if you haven't heard, Carnival has introduced a whole new main dining room menu. I think there's like literally over 70 things that can be rotated in and out. They worked with Emerald Lagasse on this new menu. And Macrina is saying that she was just on the Celebration, only ordered the new items other than on Lobster Night, and said they were fantastic. So there's an early report back from the Carnival Celebration saying that the menu items, the new main dining room menu, is quite good. Thank you for that, Macrina. I can't wait to get back on Carnival. Here we go. Nurse Tara, question. I booked the all-inclusive on Celebrity back in May. So will gratuity still be included? Yes. All booking prior to was October 4th?
Beginning of October something.
Yeah.
I can't remember the specific
Up until
day.
the change, anything that's booked up until the change, it remains what it is. Anything that's booked after the change, the gratuities go away. So if you already booked on Celebrity and the gratuities are part of the all-included, yes, they will be still included. That's a great question. It's a little bit of confusion, especially since they announced it so far in advance, and they're like, yeah, it's going to take effect here. But if you book with Celebrity right now until the change, the gratuities will still be included with the all-included package. If you book after that change, which is either October 4th or 11th, so it's one of those two dates, then the gratuities will no longer be included. And as of right now, it doesn't look like they're going to change the price. They haven't said anything, so we'll see. Katie, 98 days to your Christmas cruise on the Carnival Celebration. Well, they just got off the Celebration. Macrina said that the new MDR is great. Cindy just said that the new menu is great too. So you got a brand new menu waiting for you on the Celebration. Yay! Christmas cruise. Last year we did the Symphony of the Seas, December 17th to the 24th. So we literally got off the ship on Christmas Eve, but it was basically a Christmas cruise. You know, we had Christmas decorations everywhere. It was awesome. So yay, you're going to be celebrating Christmas on the ship.
And just a little reminder, if you want to ask questions about Virgin on TikTok, you cannot use the word Virgin.
Yes, thank you for that reminder, Rebecca. If you are on TikTok and you're trying to ask me questions about Virgin Voyages, actually, did she? Oh, no. Oh, Vision. You said Vision. I love it.
Yeah.
You
Spell
cannot
it wrong or just do VV.
Yeah, you cannot use the word Virgin on TikTok. I'm not the one blocking your question. TikTok is. However, on YouTube, you can use Virgin Voyages all day long. So just use VV or do what the previous person did. They spelled it Vision, and I read it as Virgin Voyage. So just so you know, you can't use that word on TikTok. It's just kind of silly because we have a brand called Virgin Voyages on TikTok. Hey, Desiree, how are you? Good morning. Good to see you. Act Normal, you just got off the Carnival for the first time and loved it. Any recommendation for some of the smaller ships in Florida? To be honest, we have not gone on any of the smaller ships. We are really interested in the ships from the Horizon up, you know, the Vista class up. We have clients who love the Magic, absolutely love the Magic. I mean, they just flat out love that ship. The Spirit, I've got some clients who are actually doing the Spirit from Seattle, going all the way through the Panama Canal to come into New Orleans. So just based on what my clients are booking, I can tell you those are two of the ships that they really, really like. But beyond that, I don't have personal experience. If anybody is watching this.
Those two guys you had on one time.
Oh, this Cruise Life.
Yes.
Yeah. So this Cruise Life, they do a lot on Carnival. They love Carnival to death. But if anybody here has questions or has advice about the smaller Carnival ship, please do pop it in here. You're leaving Wednesday on the Sapphire Princess. That means you're probably in Alaska. That's amazing. Yay, we love Alaska. You Brew You, where do I submit my quote request? Well, since you're on TikTok, if you click my logo, there's a little link tree right underneath, right on my profile page. And the very first thing says to contact us. Or just go to where'swaltertravel.com, click on contact us, and you can set up a calendar meeting with us. That's how we do it. So you basically give me a little bit of background information about you. Then you set up a time that's good for me to either call you or we do a Zoom video chat. And then we talk about what your plans are, and then we go ahead and get you some ideas. So it's really easy. If you're watching me on YouTube, there's links in the description to contact us to set up a time to chat. If you're watching on TikTok, either go to where'swaltertravel.com or click my logo, go to my profile, click on that little link tree. The very first link that's going to come up is contact us. That's going to take you right to my calendar. I set the calendar up because it's much easier than us going back and forth in email trying to set up a time. It's like just pick a time on my calendar that's convenient for you, and I'll give you a call or we'll do a video chat. And it's super, super simple. John Tober is at Terminal B. You're asking at Terminal B for Splash of Romance. Is there a dedicated line from outside all the way in, and is 1 p.m. a good time to arrive? So you will be in the 1:30 boarding time. He's asking about Virgin Voyages. They have a package called A Splash of Romance. I want to say it's like $200. One of the things it gets you is a priority embarkation. And so what they do at Terminal B, they start lining up everybody basically in corrals based on the times. And what?
If you have the Splash of Romance or you have the Deep Blue Extras, usually there's somebody at a little table with a list of those people, and they will give you the appropriate wristband to get you in at the right time.
And generally, there's somebody like, even before you get to the table, there's somebody like standing out there as you're starting to walk. But basically, right in the middle of all of that, you're going to have these lines on either side. And then in the middle of all that is where the Deep Blue Extras and the Splash of Romance is. So just walk up to that first terminal person, first terminal agent you see, tell them, hey, I've got the Splash of Romance. They're going to direct you to that table. And I don't think Splash of Romance actually gets a wristband or anything. I think you're just led up. There's a separate escalator line for you, but it's awesome. That Splash of Romance is really cool on Virgin Voyages. I love it. Kurt's asking if we have any group cruises planned. Not yet, other than the Ben and David, which is sold out. We are very proud to be a travel partner with Cruise with Ben and David, and of course with Stephanie Mullen and the Sean and Steph channel. So excited, but we already booked the first cruise with Ben and David. We sold out 75 cabins basically in 2 days. It took me a week to get through everybody, but basically in 2 days we sold out all 75 cabins. Hoping that they're going to do another one either in 2024 or 2025. So watch for announcements from them. They will be making all the announcements, but we currently don't have one. We've been talking about it. Hopefully in the next week or two, we'll go ahead and announce maybe one or two for 2024 for sure. So, but yes. Oh, hey, Macrina is saying, somebody asked about the smaller ships. Cindy is saying that the Carnival Valor and the Vista were both lovely. Of course, the Vista is a larger one, but the Valor is a smaller one. And Macrina is saying that the Carnival Spirit class is really nice, as are the Sunshine class. So there you go. So Spirit class, Sunshine class. We're getting some good votes for those. Really good. Hey, you're welcome, John. What is the Royal Caribbean version of Oceana? Seabourn.
Silver Sea.
Silver Sea. It'd be Silver Sea.
Which is right underneath. They answered that question.
Oh, did they? And Silver Sea is even higher luxury than Oceana, to be quite honest with you. You're going to be paying even more for Silver Sea, but that's even more white glove treatment, although they do have some really nice expedition. Yeah. Diana, you're trying to book a cruise for a family of 4 for February 17th, 2024, and not break the bank. I mean, that just depends on which cruise line you're going to go with. Now, February.
What your bank is like.
Yeah, and February 17th, I think that's like right around President's weekend. So the prices are going up for President's weekend.
But not like Christmas or
No.
New Year's or
No, but it will
summer.
be around spring break price. Depending, I don't know where you're trying to book out of, but you've got Galveston, you've got Florida. You may even have New Orleans may be in play, LA may be in play, New York may be in play. Certainly now Royal Caribbean is going to be a higher price for sure. You got Carnival, you got MSC. I don't know if you've looked at MSC. Norwegian, depending on what the deals are on Norwegian. So, and even, well, Disney will definitely be higher at that time, but Disney is actually, compared to some of the Royal Caribbean pricing, Disney is actually starting to get a little bit close there. But if you're trying not to break the bank, MSC is certainly a good option to look at. MSC is really reasonably priced, really reasonably priced. So, Stacy, Bill wants to know my thoughts on Holland America line compared to Princess and Celebrity. Very similar to Princess. Very, very similar to Princess. I think Celebrity is a little bit, it's a step up in luxury. However, Holland has, we've not been on Holland since like all the new menus have been released and all of that. Holland has apparently been putting a lot of work into their main dining room. The buffet has always been fabulous. But I think Holland and Princess compare, you know, they're very, very similar. The shows are better on Princess, I think, than Holland.
Holland has been, the new ships already came with a bunch of music venues, and they've been retrofitting some of the older ships with some of these really good live music venues. They have
better live music venues. And Princess really doesn't have like a good live music venue. They kind of do the atrium. It's where they kind of do that live music, whereas Holland has really nice live music venues. I don't think they don't have quite the spread of suites that, say, Princess has, or Celebrity. Celebrity really has some gorgeous suites, obviously. But I think another one that you want to start looking at, if you're like comparing all of those, is start looking at Oceana too, as well. Because what you're going to pay for, you know, a nice suite on Holland or Princess or Celebrity, you may get, you know, a veranda, which is almost the size of a suite on any other cruise line, but you're going to get all your meals. You're going to get your wine and beer with dinner. Oh, and by the way, Bill, they have a smoking lounge, like an actual smoking lounge on Oceana ships as well. So you may want to look at that as well. But I think you know, you can totally, you should totally,
Yeah, definitely try out Holland. I did enjoy myself.
Yeah.
And they have some great itineraries.
They have fabulous. That is the one thing Holland has. Now, one of the things that Holland America has that really, I don't know that anybody else has these, is those long voyages that are a closed loop from the United States. You know, you can go over to Northern Europe, you can go to Italy, you can go to Australia and back from San Diego. You know, so they do have those long itineraries that are amazing. Cassie, you just got off the Panorama, but hurricane screwed up a trip. Yeah, hey, there's nothing you can do about weather. In fact, we just saw that the Carnival Luminosa canceled. She's doing a 30-day itinerary from Seattle all the way down through Japan into South Pacific. It was supposed to start out in Alaska. It was supposed to do 3 days up into Alaska, but a low pressure system was moving in that they didn't like. So they called that off. You know, they are going to do that. They are going to call that off in the interest of safety. And they've even warned guests that even though they're not going up there, there still could be some rough weather these first couple of days as they leave the Seattle area. So yeah, you got to be prepared for that. Let's see, Chris G, I'm hoping you can help us in the future. Book a Christmas river cruise. Yes, we have booked multiple. In fact, I just made final payments for some clients on one for next year.
And if you're looking at Christmas 2024, you need to do it sooner.
Yeah.
Rather than later.
Christmas river cruises 2024 are selling briskly. 2025, we're already starting to sell into 2025. So if anybody's watching this and you're thinking, oh, I'll just wait on a Christmas river cruise for 2024, inventory is already starting to fill up.
Because these are small ships.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, a limited window of sailings. So really, with the river cruises, you want to book 12 to 18 months out.
Right. And act normal. Thank you. I mean, and I wouldn't call it spam, but if you are asking the same question over and over, just know I am going to get to it. You can tell I like to try to answer everybody's question. I try to give a full answer. And that's part of Rebecca's job sitting right over here. If I miss a question, I will get back to it. But Diana, thank you so much for asking the questions. And yeah, anything that we can do to answer, please do ask, but know that I may not get to it for a while because I do like to answer the question, but I'm going to do as much as I can to do this. User 541, who's the ghost voice off camera? That would be my wife, Rebecca, my partner. She does not like to be on camera. I'm the guy that gets me on camera, but she's my partner in the drive. Oh, wait, there's the hand. There you go. There you go. There's the hand just came in. So that was Rebecca, ladies and gentlemen. Lauren Prince. Oh, Cheryl's asking about the Valor, and Lauren Prince is asking about the Paradise out of Tampa. We have not been on the Valor. We have not been on the Paradise, but we are getting, we got some great thumbs up from some of our current clients on the Valor. And the Princess, I mean, the Paradise is just a classic ship, man. That is a small ship. It is a classic ship. It's really interesting how much Carnival guests really do get into those small ships. They love those small ships, and yet Carnival keeps building these bigger and bigger. Now, what I am excited about is that Royal Caribbean recently said, yeah, we're looking at our smaller ships. We know we have to replace our smaller ships. So I'm really excited about the prospect. You know, maybe that'll push Carnival into saying, you know, maybe we got to build some smaller ships again too, because those small ships are great. They get into places. I mean, just look at Oceana. Look at Viking, you know, look at Silversea, look at those small ships, what they're doing with those small ships. Viking, Rebecca showed this to me. They have a theater in the back of some of their ships with this big screen that just lifts up, goes into the ceiling, and then the curtains open up and you've got a 270 glass view looking out the back of the ship. I mean, there's some amazing technology that's out there that the luxury cruise lines are doing, and that the mainstream cruise lines are doing in the big ships that they can bring down to the smaller ships. So I'm excited, you know, maybe over the next 10 years, we're going to start seeing the small ships get replaced with modern versions. I am so sorry, little chef. All right. Any other questions over there? Nope. Magic Spirit and larger ship. Also look up the Cruise Life. Yep, those are good guys, really good guys. You're heading out on a 12. Let's see, Skippy's heading out on a 12-day on the NCL Joy October 16th. That will be absolutely fantastic. You know, we have found now that 7 days just not nearly long enough for us. I really want them to be more like 10s. So we're going to be on an 8-day on the Valiant Lady at Thanksgiving. So that'll be nice. Retired Star Mom. You're leaving in 21 days on the Regal Transatlantic. Any suggestions for a transatlantic first time? Well, do know that unlike, you know, Caribbean and all of that, you are going to be in the open ocean. So any storms that could even be like, say, 200 miles away are going to affect the water. You know, you could get high swells. You could get big ripples. So even if you've never been seasick on a ship before, I would encourage you to be prepared. Maybe some sea bands, maybe some ginger candy, maybe those patches. But if you're going to consider the patches, always check with your doctor first, because there can be side effects with them. So I always recommend, you know, people are like, oh, just get the patches. Great. Check with your doctor just to make sure, because it is something that gets released in your body. So you want to make sure that it's safe. And then I would say definitely check your schedule, because there's going to be a lot of things that they're going to do during the day, because you've got, you know, I don't know how many days you're going to be at sea, maybe 8 or 9. They start to do a lot of things that you don't typically see. And also the menu, it's going to be more varied than what you might typically see. So certainly keep an eye on that schedule and look for things, because that schedule is going to be different. Your menus are going to be different. So really, really take that in. That should be a lot of fun. But the biggest thing is just to be aware, you're in the open ocean. And yes, the ship will do what it can to avoid any weather, but weather that's 200 miles away can affect the seas and just create these big ripples. We were on the Norwegian Escape for our very first cruise back from the pandemic. No storms in sight, but there were these big, like, you know, I don't know, it's just 8-foot rolling waves. They were just gentle rolling waves, but because the ship was running parallel to it, the ship was, you know, rocking left and right. And they had the bark bags out for the first 2 days of the cruise. No storm in sight, but that's the kind of thing that can happen in the open Atlantic. So just be aware of that. Let's see, what you just booked your dining for your upcoming VV 45 days ago. Yes, if you are going on Virgin Voyages, your dining is going to open up at 60 days out if you're a rock star, and 45 days out if you are a sailor, and at 120 days out you can start booking your shore things or the shore excursions. So yeah. Let me see now. Observation. Oh, good. Yeah, thank you for that. Let's see. Is it okay to connect one cruise approved power strip to another in order to make it longer? You're going to have to check with your room steward, because if not, they're just going to take it away.
No,
Yeah, my guess is no. They're only going to allow one in there. So, but they do have extension cords. You can request an extension cord from your room steward. That's what
and
I
they
would
will
do.
particularly try and do that if, say, you have a CPAP machine and you need the cord to be longer to reach the bed area.
Yeah.
But I will just a little word of warning. I have been and gotten things on Amazon before that say they're cruise line approved, and when I get them, they still have the
surge protector.
Surge protection, and if that's what you need to look for. If it has surge protection of any kind, it is not going to be approved. Yeah,
and just so you know, anything that says cruise line approved on Amazon or anywhere else is not. Cruise line do not approve anything. They've been very clear about that. So, and in fact, if you look at the fine print somewhere, it's going to say that. So no cruise line, it's not like Underwriters Laboratory, UL. The cruise lines do not look at all these things, go, yep, that's approved, that's approved, that's approved. They're just saying it. It's marketing, because supposedly they don't have a surge protector, but if they have a surge protector, it's not.
And I have heard of cases where people who are checking the luggage either on shore or on the ship will still confiscate the non-surge protectors because they don't bother checking whether it is or it isn't. They just take them.
So if they take it away, they're going to give it back to you at the end of the cruise. Crystal Dawn, you're going to be on the Norwegian breakaway in April for a nurse conference. Wow. Any tips to express boarding? Express boarding, I think it's only available for suites with Norwegian.
I think so.
I don't think there's a way to buy into it like on Royal Caribbean. You can buy into the key, which will give you, priority boarding. On Norwegian, I'm not aware of any way to get priority boarding other than being in a suite. Norwegian breakaway, they have great specialty dining. On Norwegian, they have great entertainment. Those are the two things. The pools are a little bit weak. They're a little small for the size of the ship, but I do love the big waterfront, like deck 8. A great area just to hang out, relax, and enjoy the ocean going by. So those are the 3 tips that I would get. Is Carnival stopping in Mazatlan? I do not know offhand if they are. Diana, oh yeah, take a look at MSC. Are they good with kids' activities? I don't know about the kids' activities specifically, but they have this one pool and water area on the ship, and there were parents telling me that they like that more than the ones on Disney and Royal. Now, however, one thing I will say, they have this thing called an arcade. It's not an arcade. There's like 3 games, and then they have bowling. So they don't have like all the arcade games and stuff like that. Royal Caribbean has much more to do on the ships. Carnival has more to do on the ship that's outside the kids area. MSC doesn't have quite as much to do outside, but they do have a lot of pools, deep pools. But if you're just looking for cheap, MSC is going to be cheap. There's a trade-off. If you want all those activities on the top decks, then you got to pay for Royal Caribbean or Carnival. If you don't mind not having those things, then MSC.
And their kids clubs do have a partnership with Lego. So
that's true.
I don't know exactly what that means, but there's Lego involved.
And you just got the nurse conference got Nurse Tara interested. She's watching from YouTube going, nurse conference on a ship. That sounds interesting. And by the way, if anybody works for a company or anything like that, you want to do a company retreat or something like that, the conference space on a cruise ship is included free of charge. So, if you got some folks you want to bring together on a cruise ship, it's really, really good. Which would I recommend, Royal Caribbean or Celebrity? 2 completely different experiences. Royal Caribbean is squarely a family cruise line. You're going to have a lot of kids. On the bigger ships. So when you go Voyager class and up, that's when the ice skating rink got introduced. That's when the flow rider got introduced. So if you're smaller than that, it's more adult centric. But the larger ships, they are very family friendly cruise line. Celebrity is more an adult luxury casual. So 2 completely different experiences. So it depends on which you're looking for. Are you looking for that family experience? I want to have ice skating. I want to have flow riders. I want to have water slides available to me to have all kinds of fun. I don't mind having a lot of families around. Or are you looking for a more adult centric? Because Celebrity is more of like a luxury resort at sea, casual luxury resort at sea. I call it the white glove treatment without the stuffy attitude. I really like Celebrity a lot. I like both.
And just to backtrack a little, somebody has mentioned for Norwegian, the other way to have priority boarding is to be platinum or above
that's true.
in their loyalty program.
That's true. If you work your way up into their loyalty. Thank you for reminding us. I appreciate that. Let's see. Any opinions on a Norwegian Alaska cruise? If it's a smaller ship, I would consider Norwegian. With Alaska, our top two have always been Princess and Holland America. We're starting to look at Oceana now. Oceana has some really good itineraries, and because the airfare is so cheap, it really works out nicely doing Oceana in Alaska as well. Norwegian, I would only do with the small ship. You know, like we put Steph on the Norwegian Spirit this year. Great ship. It's actually the smallest ship in the fleet. If you're going on one of the big breakaway class ships, I would not do that. In Alaska, it's just too big. It's just way too big.
Although if you are sailing with family who needs to be entertained while on the ship,
well, yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But I really don't. Even, you know, we've sent families on Princess to Alaska, and they've had an amazing time because in Alaska, Alaska is the star. It's really like a river cruise with a big ship because you keep stopping so much. By George said that Holland's main dining room has been awesome in the last 3 cruises in 2020. Thank you, George. Really appreciate that. Tyler Nicole, is it worth the money to get an ocean view balcony, Royal Wonder of the Seas? That's 100% up to you. So if you don't know and you're wondering why are we asking about an ocean view balcony, aren't they all ocean view? Not on the Oasis class on Royal Caribbean. They have balconies that look into Central Park, and they have balconies that look into the boardwalk area on the back of the ship. So they are balconies, but you're not looking at the ocean. Now, and so they charge a premium to get the ones that are actually out looking at the ocean. That's 100% up to you, whether you want to, you know, be, if you're going to do the interior balconies, I recommend Central Park because it's quieter than the boardwalk. The boardwalk can be loud because playmakers may be back there. The Aqua Show can run till like 11:30 at night or so. So that's an active area, where Central Park is quieter at night. They've got the restaurants and stuff going on down there. So if you're going to do the interior, I would do the Central Park area, and especially on Utopia of the Seas, I think that's actually a great use of the infinite balcony is the Central Park area, because you basically just got a bigger cabin, which is really, really nice. But that's 100% up to you whether it's worth it. Let me see. Cassie, you've been on 17 cruises. Alaska was the best. I'll tell you what, Alaska is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's still my favorite cruise. My favorite cruise. Betsy, you want to book for spring break? That's fun for teens, but not completely wild. Well, I mean, fun for teens is going to be Royal Caribbean, probably Norwegian, maybe MSC as well. But in terms of being wild, so here's what happens on a spring break cruise, especially if you take a 1-week cruise. First, like 3 days are really good. And then the kids really start to congregate, and they form their little, I don't want to say gang, but, you know, their little cliques start forming, and they're running around. And by the last night, it's kind of like Lord of the Flies. It happens on every spring break cruise. So no matter what you go on, I probably the most tame would be Disney. That would just be my guess. But spring break has really gone up in price too. So you really gotta, you know, it depends on what you want to pay for it. But spring break you're going to have a lot of kids on it. And those last 2 or 3 days, the kids get more emboldened and they start running around and doing stuff. So it's just kind of the nature of cruising for spring break, unfortunately.
And later on, Betsy asked if there are many teens on Holland America during spring break. And my guess is no. No.
So Holland America, Princess, if you were considering Holland America, I would look at Princess. Because Princess apparently has really good kids programs, including a good teen program on their ship. We don't have children, so we don't know firsthand. But apparently Princess does have really, really good kids programs. I would say probably better than Holland America, just based on the information that we've gotten.
And you do need to be aware that once a child is over 17, they have aged out of the teen programs. For legal reasons, they're an adult, so they don't want them in with the children. So
Yeah. Somebody, Marie, any suggestions for a hotel in Long Beach for a Princess Cruise? Not off the top of my head, but I actually just sent like 4 or 5 of them to a client, including the Queen Mary. Is it the Queen Mary? Yeah, the Queen Mary is the ship that they've converted into a hotel. But there are a couple of really good ones over there. I can't think of them offhand, but you know, your national chains, you know, your Hampton Inn, your Homewood Suites, things like that. There was one, I want to say it might have been the Homewood Suite, that was right behind a really nice shoreside shopping and restaurant district that I thought would be great for the client because, you know, they can just plop in the hotel. They just walk out of the hotel, go like a block or two, and they're right there in that whole shopping district, which is across whatever it was, is right across the bay from where the cruise lines are. So I don't know off the top of my head. Liana, oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad. Skippy, thank you so much for the kind words. Liana saying the fantasy class Carnival ships have great layouts. Thank you so much for giving that input, and thank you so much everybody who's giving input on the various type of ships. We go on as many as we can. We've been on 9 different cruise lines, and we go on as many ships as we can. But so far, we've not been on all of them. In the parking lot. Oh, you're in the parking lot. Pilot James is in the parking lot getting ready to board the Allure Seas. Have a great time. That would be Galveston. That's that brand new terminal. Have an amazing time. Thanks for checking in. Let's see. Cheryl's been on the Norwegian Epic, the Breakaway. You're going on the Jewel next. What's the biggest difference between them? The Jewel's much smaller. Much smaller. So definitely like the top decks, you're going to notice a big difference because they don't have all of the things to do that the bigger ships do. And the bigger ships are more family centric. The smaller ships, while they're not adult centric, they tend to attract fewer kids because they don't have as much to do. That's going to be the biggest difference. It's just a smaller ship. Still going to be the same Norwegian that you're used to. It should be great service. It should be great, really fun cruise director staff and all of that stuff. It's just going to be a smaller ship. We've been sending, actually, we've had quite a few clients go on the Norwegian Pearl up in Boston, and they are just raving about the ship. They're saying the ship is great. So I would expect no less on the Jewel, to be honest. Let's see. Oh, Stacy's saying that the medallion is her favorite technology so far. That is the Ocean medallion from Princess. You can wear it as a wristwatch. You can wear it as a necklace. You can clip it. Basically, instead of having a ship card, you know, the cards that they issue you, the medallion will open your door. You can exit and enter the ship. You can buy things just using the medallion. I love it because it's hands-free. Virgin Voyages also has it with the C-band. It's absolutely fabulous. For those of you who are just joining in and you're new to the channel, where's Walter Travel? We are an independent travel agency. Our services are free. We like to say that your memories are priceless. So if we can help you at all with any of your travel, please do reach out. Where's WalterTravel.com. If you're watching on TikTok, you can click our logo, go into the link tree. There's a contact. If you're watching us over on YouTube, there are links down in the description to reach us. If you like what we're doing, TikTok, YouTube, please hit the like buttons and all that good stuff so that both channels know that you like what we're doing. And also please subscribe if you have not subscribed already. So thank you so much. Lance is saying he thinks the food is better on small ships. Well, you know, part of that is they're not preparing as much, obviously. One of the things that we learned from Oceana is because their ships are so small, literally every meal is prepared to order. There's like none of this stacking up food, getting it ready for, you know, 2,000 people to come to the main dining room. So on Oceana, they make it, you know, right on the spot. Hey, Joe, how are you? Chris Cello, is Princess Prizes still a thing? I got it on a 14-day and never won, but it was fun. Yes, it is still a thing. I never quite understood it.
It's with Princess, the Premier package.
The Premier package, yeah. I never quite got it, but yeah, I did see this kind of like a little game thing that they do on the ship, so I never got it. Hey, Aaron, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, Cindy is saying that it's easy to book an appointment with us. She just booked one. Yay, awesome. Yeah, so what I did was, you know, in the beginning of our company, we used to do this little email thing going back and forth or texting back and forth, trying to set up a time to get together. And I was like, you know, I'm just going to set up a calendar. You guys pick a time that works for you, and I just call you, or we'll do a video chat. So, user 319. So they found your luggage on the Equinox, but you had to pick it up there in Weston, Florida. Gave you $100. Well, at least they found it. At least they found it. Yay. Cheryl on NCL in May of 2024. When do the dining reservations open?
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure, but I would check your cruise
I'll check the app.
planner. I think you book.
Oh yeah, you do it
through
online.
Online, but I would just check and see if it's open.
Just log in. Yeah. One of the I guess quote unquote downside of being an independent travel advisor. Yeah, we work with every cruise line, so I can't remember this stuff off the top of my head. We have it in our notes in the office, but yeah, like Rebecca said, just log into Norwegian's website, go into your account. It's going to tell you. It should tell you right there when you can start. When you can start booking your dining reservation.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever had. Well, we've only done 2 Norwegian cruises, and both times, just as soon as we booked, I started booking dining.
Yeah.
Shortly thereafter, so I can't remember precisely when it was. And right. Just so you're aware, the free at sea meal, you can on Norwegian, you can pre-book that. Mm-hmm. But it will be the first meal that you book takes it off of your free meal
automatically.
So make sure that first meal you book is the most expensive meal you want to have.
If you don't know what the free at sea program is, Norwegian has free at sea. And what they do is they give you the drinks packet. They will give you 1 to 3 specialty dining meals. They will give you a $50 off every shore excursion, and they'll give you $150 of Wi-Fi. You pay the gratuities for the drinks. You pay the gratuities for the meals. And if you have that package and you go ahead and make a reservation online for your meals, automatically the first meal, and if you have 2 of them, your first 2 meals will automatically be applied to free at sea. So you want to make sure those are the expensive ones because you want to get your value out of it. So John saying he really wants to try Princess, but for some weird reason he set on trying to get all the way up through the loyalty and celebrity. You know, that is kind of like the thing that a lot of people weigh. It's like, should I stay with one cruise line, work my way up to get to that top tier, or should I just keep trying various cruise lines? Basically what we say is, well, with whatever cruise line you're looking at, look at that top tier. Is it worth getting to it, you know, and booking? Because think about how many cruises you got to book to get there. Disney is the best because Disney just does it by cruise. So Disney, you could take a whole bunch of 3-day cruises and you're going to work your way right up the tier because it's only based on how many cruises you take. So when you look at, well, how much money am I going to spend getting to that top tier versus how much would it cost me just to go ahead and pay for the thing that I'm going to get for free? That's kind of like how we look at it. So with us, we want to try everything. You know, we love Celebrity, we love Princess, we love Holland, we love MSC, we love Virgin, we love them all. We just like trying various ships to get different experiences. So there is that trade-off. So I always say to people, you know, look at that thing. Of course, by working your way up Celebrity, you're also working your way up Royal Caribbean because they do that reciprocal thing because they're the same company. So,
and I tend to find on most cruise line loyalty programs, there's the very, very top tier, whatever that is. And it's the tier right below that where you really start to get things that make a difference.
Yeah.
So even if you just get to that second to top level and then branch out.
Right. That might be where to go. I am JDW. Any tips on flying to Barcelona from the Midwest and flying from Rome for a July Celebrity cruise? That's a very popular itinerary. You start in Barcelona, you end in Rome or Athens. You know, those are like the big 3 that you start in one and you end in another. I will say Celebrity has a very good air program. We have not booked through. Actually, yeah, I think we did book one time. But they have a very good air department, and I've gotten great feedback from either our clients or on social media of that air department when things happen. Like they really work overtime to make sure that you get through. But in terms of I'm actually booking a very similar flight later today, but it's going to be Barcelona and Athens. And basically, I just look to see what's out there. You know, the biggest thing you want to look at, like if you're going to do premium economy or something like that, or business class, make sure it's the long flight that has business class. Because sometimes they do this game where like you're in the Midwest, so you might go say Chicago to New York. That might be the business class. And then the one going across the pond is actually economy, but you didn't realize it because you didn't look at it. That's the biggest tip, to make sure that the long flight, if you're going above economy, is the thing that you're getting above economy.
And the thing to be aware is the vast majority of flights, certainly from the East Coast, probably the Midwest as well, are going to Europe are overnight flights.
Yeah.
So you will leave on, like, say Friday and you won't arrive till Saturday.
Yeah.
So plan accordingly.
And John is saying he can't wait to see the new Virgin Voyages loyalty program. There is no new program. They just extended the Deep Blue Extras all the way through to the end of 2024. Exact same program. So we're not going to see a new one until the end of 2024. But it's a good program. It really is. MSC matches other cruise lines, and they match hotels as well. So if you've got points in hotels, they match that. And Virgin Voyages will status match other cruise lines as well. So those are two great cruise lines. If you're looking to try a new cruise line and you're already up in points on a cruise line, Virgin Voyages and MSC are good ones to try out because they're going to match up your loyalty. Stacy is saying Carnival says to bring your own extension cord. That is interesting. And to bring your own distilled water. Usually they say no to extension cords. They will take those away. That's very, very interesting. And you have to bring your own distilled water now. That is interesting. I was not aware that they were charging now for the distilled water, so I'll have to look into that. Aaron is asking, what cruise line do we have the highest loyalty with? Probably Celebrity and Princess?
Princess. We're the second to top level on Princess.
Yeah, so we're elite on Princess at the time being.
Is it elite? No.
Well, yeah, I'm elite. Yeah, I'm elite now.
Well, only when you're on the ship.
Yeah, only when I'm on the ship. So, but we're the second to the top.
Platinum.
Oh yeah,
just flat out. And we're really close to the second to the top level on Celebrity. Yeah, so we're close. Yeah. We're not quite there.
But I'm sorry. They advertise they are approved. Oh yeah. You're talking about like the cruise approved. So Sparky is saying that's messed up that they advertise that they are approved. Thank you so much for this information. Anything that you see that's cruise line approved is not cruise line approved. Cruise line do not approve anything. So.
I mean, it may be perfectly fine, but the thing to check is whether it's surge protected or not.
Right.
If it's surge protected, it will likely be confiscated.
Yes, it will be. And they'll give it back to you at the end of the cruise because you'll see a whole line of people getting them back. So, and I appreciate your patience on TikTok. I know there's a whole lot of questions there, but you see, I do try to answer them all. So I appreciate your patience. I will get to them. Have we been on the Celebrity Beyond? Not yet. Not yet. But our good friends Sean and Steph have been on the ship. And of course, Ben and David, our good friends Ben and David have been on the ship. So if you want to see it, certainly check out their channels. The ship is amazing. We've seen the ship. We were on Symphony of the Seas, and she was right next to us in St. Thomas. Gorgeous ship. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. So, yes, we're going to get on it. And if Captain Kate is still there in a couple of years, we're going to do our vow renewals on the ship, too, because we want Captain Kate to do our vow renewals. Sparky, first-time cruiser on Princess. Oh, you're going on the Ruby. You're going in Juneau today. Yay! That's so exciting. Oh, man, Juneau is amazing. Alaska is amazing. Have a great time. Have a fabulous time. User 319, the food in Blue was unbelievable. They knew everything about us even before we dined for the first time. User 319 is talking about the Blue restaurant in Celebrity. If you are in Aqua Class and Aqua Class only, you can dine in the Blue restaurant. That is an elevated main dining room. It is outstanding. That is the Aqua Class is our favorite class on Celebrity. Just because of that restaurant. That restaurant is really good. You get the same servers every night. Oh my God. It's like, I mean, the Celebrity main dining room is a good main dining room. It's one of the better main dining rooms out there at sea. But boy, you step into Blue. And if you have not seen, with that change coming in October, you can get Aqua Class without the all-included package. So if you don't want the all-included package,
about that.
Yeah, we're really excited about it because we don't need the all-included. The drink package doesn't work for us. We don't drink enough. So we're really excited that now we're going to be able to get Aqua Class without the all-included. So if you have not seen that, it's either October 4th or October 11th. I can't remember which of the 2 days it is. We will now be able to book the Aqua Class without the all-included. We're really psyched about that. Billy Bojimbom, you already cruised on NCL. Who else attracts and treats solo cruisers well? Great question. We've been getting a lot of solo cruisers lately. We just found out Oceana has solo cabins. And in fact, what they did was they retrofitted
on their older ships.
Some of their Ocean View cabin to be solo, but they're double occupancy cabins that now they're classified as solo. So you've got big double occupancy cabins on Oceana. Virgin Voyages has Insiders and Sea Views that are solo. And they've been doing no solo supplement in the Mediterranean for a while now. So you can get balconies with no solo supplement. Celebrity Cruises has infinite balconies for solo. Believe it or not, Royal Caribbean has well over 200 cabins for solos, including some actual balconies. They're just spread out all over the fleet. So you need to know which ships you're on. Like the Quantum class, I think, has 6 actual balconies for solo travelers. Holland America has a few.
And every now and then, MSC runs discounted solo supplements.
Yeah, definitely. So those are the ones. But yeah, there's actually more out there than you might think. That's one of the things that we've done a lot of research on. So we're starting to find all of these solo cabins. So if you have a question, feel free to reach out, set up an appointment. We'd be happy to talk you through like some of the options you have. But Virgin, Celebrity, Royal Caribbean, Holland America, Oceana, for sure, all have them. Do we work with Holland America? Absolutely. You're looking at the conning dam for Alaska in 2024. Absolutely. We've got one client on a 42-day Mediterranean cruise round trip from Fort Lauderdale. They go from Fort Lauderdale, they go all through the Mediterranean, they come back to Fort Lauderdale. Holland America is a great partner. They're a great cruise line. And in fact, we just had Holland America on our Thursday night chat 2 weeks ago. The replay is live right now on YouTube. So a whole hour with Whitney from Holland America is over on our YouTube channel right now. Holland America, great cruise line. So yeah, we basically, if there's a cruise line out there, we probably work with it. Like we just got ourselves set up with Crystal over in Greece, because Ben and David just did their episode. In fact, I think they might have another episode coming out. Today's Sunday, so usually Sunday they have new episodes coming out. But we just got ourselves all set up with Crystal because we already got people reaching out for those cruises. What a great little cruise line, fun little cruise line over in Greece. John is saying that Blue has been the best restaurant he's ever eaten at, both land and sea, and that is saying something. You're looking forward to Luminae next year to compare. So he mentions Luminae. That's in the retreat. That is the suite level on Celebrity. You get to go to Luminae. So the best restaurant that I have eaten at, land or sea, is actually Remy on the Disney Fantasy. Absolutely freaking amazing. So if you are on the Disney Fantasy or the Disney Dream, holy crap, try Remy for sure. Betsy, there were 10 of you ages 8 to 80 on Princess Cruise to Alaska, and we all loved it. Princess does a great job with kids. You wouldn't expect it, but they really are a great family cruise line. And of course, now with the new Sun and Star Princess, they're finally taking advantage of some of that dead space up on the upper decks, and they're going to add a few extra things for families to do, which is great. Absolutely great. Let's see. Can I recommend a cruise line for someone in a wheelchair? That's a great question, KJ. Thank you for that. So basically any cruise line, but the thing that you really want to look at is the newer ships, especially 10 years or newer. And that's something where, like us as an independent travel advisor, we can really help you with that. We can help you figure out which ship. But essentially, anything that's 10 years or newer, they're going to have the wider concourses. They're going to have the bigger elevators. It'll be a little bit easier to get around. You know, before that, you can still get around pretty easily, but there could be some choke points. We had a client who went on the Caribbean Princess, for example. Great ship, fabulous ship. But she said, like, some of the bars, because she's in a scooter, some of the bars, like the bar was kind of high. Bartenders didn't see her. And then she felt like they kind of segregated her in the main dining room because there was only like a couple of spaces that could really accommodate the scooter. Whereas the newer ships, lots of big wide open spaces. So really, the fact that you have a wheelchair doesn't really matter in terms of like the newer ships. It's just what kind of an experience would you like to get? You know, do you want a more family-friendly line? Do you want a more adult-centric line? What would you like? And we can certainly set you up. But certainly 10 years and newer, they've really done a nice job with ADA compliance.
And if you do need a fully accessible cabin, we recommend booking out as far as you can because there are limited amounts of fully accessible cabins.
Like less than 10%, like maybe 5% of the cabins on a ship will be fully ADA, meaning that you can roll right into the bathroom, you can roll right into the shower. There are plenty of them that have like handrails and things like that. Like if you can step into the bathroom, you can step into the shower. But if you need fully ADA accessible rolling into the bathroom, maybe only about 5% on a ship. So yeah, you definitely have to book early. Nurse Tara is looking forward to Le Petit Chef on Celebrity. She loved the meal and the entertainment. Le Petit Chef on Celebrity, they actually image map the entire table. So they project a video onto the table. A little animated chef will make your meal. And then the server will actually put down the real thing as soon as the chef is done. We haven't done it yet, but we will. User 319 Equinox has 2 kids on a 9 to 10 day sailing. See, now that's the other way to get on a cruise with fewer kids. You go on a sailing that's longer than 7 days. Most families can only do a week of vacation. So even on, say, Royal Caribbean, if you go on a 10-day cruise, there's going to be less kids, or Carnival. You go on a 10-day cruise or longer, there's going to be less kids because the families can generally only take a week. So that's another strategy for going with less kids.
The only caveat to that is, say, Holland America or Princess, who sell back-to-backs as a 14-day cruise, but they're actually 2 7s. That's not going to help.
Yeah, they're the only ones that do that. So you go out from Fort Lauderdale, you do the Eastern Caribbean, you come back to Fort Lauderdale, you do the Western Caribbean. They sell that as a 14-day cruise, but it's really 2 7 days. So
so you got to be sure that what you're buying is an actual.
But of course, Holland American Princess don't have that many kids to begin. If you have 100 kids on a Princess cruise, that's a lot. That's a lot. So, good morning, Cabin Life. How are you? Samuel is saying it's been 30 years. The Queen Mary was awesome, and you read it was recently updated. You're talking about the hotel in Long Beach. It was just recently renovated. The reviews on TripAdvisor are still a little bit mixed, but yeah, it did just get a whole new thing. Cabin Life, do European cruises have standard electrical plugs? And by that, I assume you mean American plugs. All of the cruise lines that are U.S. centric do. When you get into, say, P&O and Costa and some of those, they'll be very limited. There might be one, right? Because they're more European centric cruise lines. So if they're more American centric, there's going to be more. We highly recommend get the converters. They're so cheap now on Amazon. We bring them with us on our American cruises because there might only be 2 plugs, but there might be 1 or 2 European plugs. So we just plug in our converters, and boom, you've got more outlets.
Yep.
So yeah, so just take the converters. So you would like, let's see, who is this? Liana. You would like to go on an adults only cruise on Virgin Voyages, but do not want pineapple-y things on my vacay. You're not going to get pineapple-y things.
Well, definitely stick to the ones that are not over a weekend, like a whole weekend.
Yeah.
Because I have heard some of those can be shorter over a weekend,
and
can
honestly,
be a little pineapple-y sometimes.
And any cruise line that is 3 nights, any cruise at 3 nights, that's a party cruise. Carnival, Royal Caribbean, certainly Virgin Voyages, because it's all adults. So just take a longer cruise. For sure. Like we've been on, we've been on a 4-night and a 5-night. We've not really seen that.
We've been on 2 5s.
2 5s. We've not really seen that. And now we're about to be on an 8 over Thanksgiving. So, I mean, because of the adult nature of it, there can be more of that. But, they're not going to be aggressive about it. Nobody is, because if they're aggressive about it, the cruise line's going to do something about it. Okay. So you can't be aggressive about it. But what you're talking about with the swapping and all of that and the partners, that will happen on any cruise line that has a 3-night cruise, for sure. It's a party cruise. It's basically a Las Vegas weekend. So let's see. Ping Pong, I hear the Disney Treasure is taking reservations. Yeah, I think they opened up.
I thought it was later this month.
Maybe it's this week. It might be this week that it's opening
and
up.
I think that's for
they're doing the same thing.
Club members.
You got to have Pearl and then Gold and then Silver and then the general public. So it's going to be like a 5-day process for the general public. Is that ship replacing the fantasy itinerary? It's taking over some of the fantasy itineraries because it is going to be doing 7 nights, which is great. I'm so glad they're finally going to have one of these ships doing 7 nights because it's too much of a ship to do in 3 or 4, with the Wish. But I think it's opening up this week. So I think by next weekend, it will be open for the general public to book. So yeah, beautiful ship. Stephanie just got off the Wish. She's been working on the Wish with Disney, and she said that the ship is just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm really excited. The Hyperspace Lounge, okay, that's kind of fun on the Wish, but that new periscope bar that is 20,000 leagues under the sea, it fits the ship. Like the Hyperspace Lounge kind of comes out of nowhere. With a ship that's all about princesses, whereas that periscope bar, oh my God, it looks so freaking amazing. I cannot wait to see the ship. How do you get started with casino at sea program gamble in Vegas? No, you got to gamble on the ship. You got to spend lots of money gambling on the ship, and you will start getting in the casino programs. Let's see. Oh, did somebody ask about dining on NCL? Oh, I see. Yeah, so you're answering that. Thank you very much. Carnival and tipping. So Carnival, really anybody in tipping except Virgin Voyages. If you feel that somebody has given you exceptional service, you're always welcome to give them some cash. Of course, the gratuities are built in to your daily cruise fares. Usually, depending on the cruise line, it can be anywhere from $15 to $21 per day per person. So that's built in. We always advise you to leave those in place because they go to your room steward, they go to your dining servers. Those are the people you see. But there are literally hundreds of people behind the scenes that you do not see, who are in the laundry, who are in the cleaning, who are like doing all of the stuff, getting your bag, moving your bag down. There's so many people behind the scenes that you do not see that the gratuities go towards. So don't stop those. But in terms of like giving a tip, usually we almost always tip I think we have always tipped our room steward.
At least a little something.
Yeah. And then I usually tip my
Extra.
favorite bartender. I always have a bartender that I connect with, and I always give a tip to that bartender. So, yeah. Let's see. You're hearing about a cruise. Is there a cruise out of California with a Dallas TV show cast appearance? Our themed cruise is worth it. So, our themed cruise, I don't know about the Dallas TV show, whether there is one. It would not surprise me if there is one with a reunion of Dallas. Why not? That would be fun. But our themed cruise is worth it. So here's the thing about a themed cruise. That's a charter. And a company has come in and taken over the whole ship. They bought the whole ship, and now they're going to resell it. They can resell that cruise for anything they want to resell it for. And, of course, they're going to mark it up. Like a great example, Broadway Cruise, the Star Trek cruise, that's the most famous one. That cruise could cost you double, maybe more than double of what it typically would. Like, oh, you would spend $1,500 on a balcony. You might spend $3,000 to $4,500 on a balcony on a Star Trek cruise or a themed cruise because you got to pay for all those other things that are happening on the ship. There's no limit to what they can charge. They can charge anything they want because they bought the ship. That is it worth it? You know, there's a lot of people that do them. That's why there's so many of them out there because people do book them. They do sell out. That Star Trek one, I mean, that one sells out almost instantly. Nurse Tara is asking if there's a website that has them all listed. Not all of them listed. Sixth Man, who is actually owned by Norwegian Cruise Line, they put on the most, I believe. They have them all listed there. And then Nurse Tara is asking if we book them. Yes, we do. We can book the Sixth Man cruises for sure. I don't know beyond Sixth Man, but Sixth Man, we can actually book them. Like we were trying to book the Hallmark Christmas one. Sold out instantly. I mean, totally sold out instantly. And then they did a second one. Sold out. It's like crazy. But yes, we can. But themed cruises are going to be much more expensive. You can't compare it to a regular cruise because you're paying for all those extra things that are included in there. So, yeah. And everybody's starting to get into the game. Celebrity does some really cool music ones. Norwegian does the most because they have their own company. Sixth Man Charters is owned by Norwegian. And if you look, like literally every single week, there are charter cruise, there are themed cruises going out on Norwegian. Sixth Man has the most, just the most. User 251, you're looking forward to going on your Norwegian cruise in New England, Canada. Any damage from lead? Nothing that I've seen reported so far. I know they were battening down the hatches up there because it was coming in, but I have not seen anything right off the bat. C, you're retiring in a few years. Yay. And you want to do a repositioning cruises to see the world recommendation. Oh man, that just depends on where you want to go. I mean, we have around the world cruises too. So you can just get on a ship for 180 days, 200 days and just go literally see the entire world. So I couldn't give you a recommendation off the top of my head because literally you can go anywhere you want. You just have to decide, well, where do I want to go? When do I want to go? Where do I want to leave from? And where do I want to come back to? Like I was just talking about Holland America. You can go to Australia and Japan and back from San Diego. You don't even have to fly anywhere. Just got to get yourself to San Diego. You can go all the way around. You can go all the way around Africa in 73 days from Fort Lauderdale. You can go up into Europe and do the Voyage of the Viking from Boston over 33 days. So you don't even have to do a repositioning cruise to do that. You can actually do closed loop from the United States to do that. But I mean, Virgin Voyages, Princess, Celebrity, Oceana, Viking, they're all doing Regent Seven Seas. They're all doing these amazing, what they call grand voyages now. So it just depends on where you want to go and what you want to do. For something like that, I mean, we really got to have a conversation. So why don't you reach out? And if you're talking about a few years from now, keep in mind, those are very limited sailings. They're like one-offs. So we're selling 2025 right now. 2026 world cruises are up already for some of the cruise lines. So that's something that we have to talk about and go, well, where do you want to go? And what do you want to do? And when? And then we'll find the options that are available for you. So yeah, certainly reach out. CK1580, first cruise for you. Yay! Welcome to the cruise family. You're going on the Equinox. What a great ship. Oh, what a great ship for your first cruise. It's a beautiful ship, great pools. And if you don't know already, they have glass blowing, honest to goodness glass blowing up by the funnels. On your very first day when you get on the ship, go on up there. You can go ahead and set up a time to do it. They'll do a demonstration on embarkation day, and then you can set up a time. The cost depends on what you want to make. Rebecca and I both made tumblers. So beautiful. Oh, my God. Have a great time on the Equinox. We love the Equinox. So I'll be right with you, Nurse Tara. Bill and Max, your first-time cruisers, which cruise would I recommend? You live in Arizona. I mean, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? There's so many cruise lines out there.
When do you want to go?
Yeah, when do you want to go? Where do you want to sail out of? How long do you want to sail? I mean, most people will do the Caribbean for the first time. So you're in Arizona, I would not recommend a cruise out of LA unless maybe you're going to do Hawaii. We're not getting the best reports of the whole Mexican Riviera. But you can go out of Galveston. You can do the Western Caribbean. You can go out of New Orleans. You can do the Western Caribbean. You can come to Florida. You can do the Eastern Caribbean. I like the Eastern Caribbean. I think that's a great first cruise. You definitely want to do 7 days, because if you do less than 7 days, you don't really get the cruise experience. Our first cruise was 14 days back to back. So first-time cruisers, really, and then what kind of experience do you want? If you want an adult experience, well, Princess, Holland America, Celebrity, Virgin Voyages. If you want more of a family experience, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Carnival, MSC, Disney. So, and the biggest advice that I would give you, first-time cruisers, is work with a travel advisor like ourselves, whether it's us or one of our many thousands of colleagues here in the U.S., because it's very hard for somebody who doesn't know cruising. Even those who know cruising, it's hard to compare apples to apples. The cruise lines do it that way on purpose. What's included, what's not included. This package has that. That package has that. The ships are totally different. Royal Caribbean has 27 ships. Norwegian has like 22 ships. So every ship is different. There's classes of ship that all have the same thing. But, one of the tricky things that everybody does is like, look at all these things on our ship. And it's not necessarily, you don't realize, oh, wait, I wasn't looking at the ship. I was just looking at the generic. And, that thing I thought was going to be on our ship isn't. So work with us as a travel advisor. You can certainly set up an appointment anytime. Our services are free. We're an independent travel advisor. So it's not that we don't care which cruise line you go on, but we just want to put you on the best cruise line that will give you the best experience, or really the best ship. It's going to give you the best experience for your first cruise. That's what we work really hard at, getting you on the right ship. The cruise line is immaterial. It's getting you on that right ship and the right itinerary, so you're really going to have a good time. Tara is asking, with passports taking so long to process, is there a company that accelerates that process? You can do what's called an expedited passport. You can do that straight through the government website. You can also, if you have a FedEx office in your area, I understand FedEx office will do that too. You can go physically to the FedEx office. They have an expediting process. But that's what you're looking for. You can certainly Google search expedited passport. Maybe there's another place in your area, but I know FedEx office does it, and even the government does it as well. Miles, you're looking at MSC out of Brooklyn, New York City in March. Any thoughts? So my only thoughts are, and we haven't done that one yet, we're getting a lot of good and bad feedback on the Brooklyn terminal. It doesn't sound like they quite have it all down yet. So there are some people who are like, waiting a long time to get onto the ship, and there's some issues with the baggage handling and things like that. Not much in terms of, like, the ship is great. The Meraviglia is a beautiful ship. MSC is a great cruise line if you accept it for what it is. It's a lower cost cruise line. So the entertainment is entertaining. It's not the best. The food is good. It's not the best. The specialty dining was quite good. We loved the pools on the MSC Seaside. They were so deep, and we really loved Ocean Key. But that's the only negative that I've heard. So I would do a little research on the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal itself and get yourself ready to go there, because yeah, we've heard some good and bad about that Brooklyn Terminal. Twin Flame, good morning. Ocean loves to do solo cruising. Love it, love it, love it. Ocean's asking, how do those people live full-time on cruise ships, and do they get a big discount? One, they don't really get a discount. The way that they get their discount is because they're going way up in the points. So they're going to get all kinds of perks on the ship. Like they may get free Wi-Fi, free laundry, drinks package, and things like that. And how do they live on the ship? They just keep booking. They just keep booking one cruise after another, or we can just simply book a whole long itinerary. I mean, Super Mario is famous on Royal Caribbean. He lives like 50 weeks a year on a Royal Caribbean ship. I know there was a couple coming out of the pandemic that booked 800 days on a P&O ship out of Australia. So, I mean, you just book. And for a lot of people, it's cheaper to live on a cruise ship than it is to go to a retirement community. So that's how they do it. Oh, snap. Do they have handicap accessible excursions? Do they help you with those? Yes, there are. So basically, when you look on the cruise line website, they do a great job with the shore excursion, explaining, you know, the level. Is it a moderate? Is it intensive? Is there a lot of walking? Is it handicap accessible? So yeah, they do tell you specifically. Now, when the thing you want to really keep a lookout for on your itinerary is tender ports. A tender port is when they're going to use the small boats to get you from the ship to the shore, because the ship can't go in and tie up at a pier, generally because it's too shallow. The ships can't get in. If there is a tender port, generally, like, you can't take a scooter onto a tender. Generally, sometimes they will assist, but it's very limited getting you to shore when you're in a wheelchair or a scooter. If you cannot step off the ship and step into the boat, you probably are not going ashore. So that's the thing to really keep an eye out. There are handicap accessible excursions. There's not a lot. I'll be very honest about that. There's not a lot, but on the cruise line website, you will see it, or if you go through our shore excursion group partner, they will show it there as well. Bill Petecchio, I think. When is the best, least expensive time to purchase excursions on Royal Caribbean? Your guess is as good as mine. Royal Caribbean is amazing. It's like the prices change by $50 day to day. I don't quite get it. Black Friday has traditionally been the time, but keep in mind, shore excursions have a limited capacity. So you're kind of, you know, if there's something that you really want to do, I would say book it when you see it. But Black Friday has traditionally been that whole weekend. Royal Caribbean usually actually had some honest to goodness deals during Black Friday. But even then,
they only usually will have discounts on certain excursions. Not all of them.
Drink package,
certainly not
Wi-Fi.
Like the cabanas or anything on Coco Cay.
No. So, I mean, basically, if it's something that you really want, book it. If it's something that you're like, well, if the price is at the right price, I'll get it, then just wait. But know that excursions do sell out. There is a finite capacity on those.
But the thing to be really, really careful with Royal Caribbean, and this goes for every extra that they sell, them in particular, is do not pay any attention to 30% off, 40%, buy one, get one half, pay no attention. When you book your cruise, start tracking the things you're interested in and just track the actual price you would have to pay. Yeah, because Royal Caribbean especially plays marketing games with 50% off, but the price went up by $10. And if you weren't tracking the price, you don't realize that. Leanna's asking, why does Virgin Voyages have a raunchy reputation? It's because when you see the bloggers, they show you Scarlet Night, they show you the Manor, they show you all the PJ party and all of that, because it's boring to show you people chilling out all day long by the pool, people chilling out on the dock, people chilling out at night listening to the bands and On the Rock. They have amazing quartets and trios and On the Rocks every night. Watching people just sit there like this and watching and having a good time, that's boring. So let's show you all the sexy stuff. So that's why Virgin Voyages has the reputation. It's actually a very chill cruise line. If you want
really
it to be.
Chill cruise line. Yeah, even at night, even during Scarlet Night, you can go hang out in the dock house. You can hang out on the back on the docks. Very quiet, chill, relaxing. It's great. It's great. Even the entertainment, I don't think it's raunchy at all, but that's just me.
Well, I would say the bingo with the diva could get, if you're particularly sensitive to
if you're sensitive, bingo with the diva could be a little bit.
I thought it was hilarious and
was
fun,
great.
and I never do bingo on a ship, and I did bingo on a ship.
We had
It
a
was
woman.
amazing.
We had a woman named Carlos. Carlos is fat. In fact, we had dinner with Carlos. Didn't realize that Carlos wasn't wasn't the diva at that time, but really amazing. Lara, thoughts on a Hawaiian Island cruise worth it? Do you have time to explore each island? Now, there's two different ways to do that. One, you sail from California. You have about 9 sea days there and back, and then you do the islands. Or you can do the Pride of America, which is you fly to Hawaii, and then that just does the islands. Now, we've heard a lot of great reviews about Pride of America. Yes, that is really worth it. You really hit the islands well. Rebecca's mom did that cruise, loved it, had plenty of time to hit the island. On the cruises that are going out from California, I don't know if any of them have an overnight. The Pride of America actually has at least 1 or 2 overnights. I
think it's usually 2.
Yeah. So you have plenty of time to hit those islands. But what you're looking for is just those long port stops. I like the idea of doing the Pride of America and then tacking on maybe 3 days or 4 days in Hawaii afterward, because you can use the ship to kind of like scout and go, okay, here's an area I'd like to come back to. And if you've already got like 3 days booked in Hawaii, you've got time to, okay, let's go back to that area and go explore some more of that. So that's how I would do it. I would fly to Hawaii. But both work. We've done both. We booked both. We haven't actually done it yet. That's one of the cruises that I really want to do. But we have booked both. We have booked clients who have left from California, gone to Hawaii. We've got clients who have done the Pride of America. They both love their cruises. So yeah, I think it is worth it. So yeah. Sandra, your daughter and I are going on your Alaska cruise tomorrow. Any last minute tips or tricks? Well, I don't know where you're going, and I don't know if they're still available, but in Juneau, Harv and Marv whale watching, the best. In Ketchikan, Island Air Wings with pilot Michelle. And in Skagway, Temsco Helicopter, Temsco, Temsco Helicopters. They have a helicopter excursion to a dog sled camp, and if it's too cloudy, they will take you to a glacier instead if you'd like. Those are the 3 best things. If you're on a princess ship, do not miss the puppies in the piazza if they're doing that. Amazing. You're welcome, Kath. Jill, what cruises are you and Rebecca looking forward to taking in 2024? We don't have any booked at the moment, but I'm hoping we can get on the Sun Princess when she comes over here. Really want to get on that ship. We've been kind of kicking. The Seashore. We want to do the yacht club on the MSC Seashore because she's moving up here to Port Canaveral for sure. And I'm hoping that 2024 is finally the year that we get across the pond and we can go do something over in Europe. I really would like to do that. So those are kind of the 3. We will be putting together 1 or 2 group cruises for 2024. So stay tuned to that. Yeah. Yay. All right. Do any of the ships have bingo? Yeah, actually, almost all of them have bingo nowadays. Virgin has the best though. Bingo with the Diva is hilarious. And I want to say the top prize in that one was like $1,300. So yeah, it's pretty good. But pretty much every cruise line has bingo these days. Yeah. Is it true Carnival is doing away with gratuity? Nope. Nope. Yeah, that's a good point. User 319, get Apple AirTags. More and more people are using Apple AirTags. I know Gary Benbridge on Tips for Travelers, he did a whole thing on the Apple AirTag. It seems like they're great. Where do you get tags? If you're talking about AirTags, you can just order them like from Amazon. Do I have time to talk about Oceana from Thursday on YouTube? Yeah, so Oceana and the whole hour is there. If you go to Where's Walter Travel on YouTube, you can watch the replay. It's one of the best hours we've had on that channel. Oceana Cruises is like that in between. If you're used to sailing on Princess, Celebrity, maybe a Norwegian Haven, Virgin Voyages, and you're not quite ready, you're not sure if you want to step up to Regent, Seabourn, Silver Sea. Oceana is like a nearly all-inclusive right in the middle. So all of your meals are included. Your Wi-Fi is included. Beer and wine is included with lunch and dinner. You get up to a $1,600 shore excursion credit that you can use. There's a few other things that were included as well. Oh, airfare is ridiculously cheap, from all over the U.S. It can be included in the cruise fare, or if you're not in a city that's included, it's only $99 each way per person. It's incredibly affordable. There's only 670 to 1,200 guests on the ships, depending on the model of the ship. They have the Vista class, which is the larger. They have the R class, which is smaller. They do have solo cabins. They have purpose designed solo cabins on the Vista class. And then they took some ocean view cabin on the R class, recategorized them to solo cabin. So, and boy, you talk about food. Holy crap. I mean, their dining looks like 5-star dining all the way. Rebecca and I, well, somebody asked about what are you looking forward to in 2024. Hopefully in January, we're going to be getting on one of the ships in Miami. Go check that out because the dining looks ridiculous. And they have programs where they, their chefs will get off the ship at a local port and go get something. Guillaume didn't have a chance to tell the story on the air, but he told me that one of the chefs got off at one of the ports in Alaska, came back with a massive halibut and grilled it out on the deck. When the ship left whatever port they were in, they were having a big fish grill out on the deck, and it was the halibut that he bought literally right there on the shore. So yeah, it's amazing. They do
also have culinary excursions.
Yeah.
So you can do go learn how to cook pasta from an Italian grandmother.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly. They've got some really great things. They've got they have an artist loft on their biggest ships too, where you can actually go up, you can do some art, cooking classes. Oh, they've got so much great stuff on there. So, if the biggest complaint I'm getting now is, man, the cruise lines are adding fees, they're taking away service, and we don't feel like we're getting the value. Well, you start looking at Virgin Voyages because it's nearly all inclusive. You start looking at Oceana, start looking at Viking Ocean. Viking Ocean is much more reasonable than you might think. I kind of had it in my head that, boy, if I'm going to get on Viking, I better have $25,000 just to get on the ship. No, you don't need that much. You can get, let's give you an idea. Oceana, you can get on those ships for $52.98 for a 1-week cruise for 2 people. I mean, it's $52.98 for 2 people, and everything's included. And this is like a 7 or 10 night cruise. So you're talking very reasonable, and almost everything is included when you step on the ship. Barbara, what do I think about the Norwegian Sun? Have not been on it. Small ship. It will be more adult centric. You're still going to get everything that you used to from Norwegian. It's just going to be a little bit smaller, which I like small ship. I like the big ship. I like the small ship. We're going to be on the Icon of the Seas January 20th. We're going to be on one of the previews. I can't wait to see what that thing actually looks like in person. It's going to be crazy. But I do like the Norwegian Sun. I don't know it personally. I don't think we've actually booked anybody on it yet. We put them on. We put folks on the Spirit, the Pearl, the Jade or the Jewel, whatever it's called. But yeah, so we booked clients on small ship, especially the Pearl. I got a lot of clients who've been coming off the Pearl, loving that ship. Absolutely. So, Ocean is saying if you want an expedited passport, you need to have a ticket booked to go. I don't think so.
It does cost more to
It does, definitely does cost more. Oh, snap. Are you supposed to take your passport and birth certificate with you? No, you only need your passport. If you don't have a passport, you take your driver's license and a birth certificate, only for closed loop cruises in the United States. But as we talked about at the top of the show, there are 2 American women who are now trapped in Mexico because they don't have a passport. They were unfortunately involved in a hit and run accident on a scooter. So A, they got medical bills, but B, they don't have a passport, so they can't get back to the U.S. They're going to have to go to the U.S. Embassy to get it. And like Rebecca said, a temporary passport is probably going to cost about as much as an expedited one. So just get it. So let me see. Do they have to change rooms when they book 800 days or 50 weeks? Well, that all depends on how they booked it. I think Super Mario likes to bounce around a little bit, but that all depends. I think the couple that booked the 800 days, I think they had 1 cabin for the entire cruise. They just booked it that way. So some people can, if it were me, if I was doing it, I would probably want to change ships every month. If I was just doing that same ship, like Super Mario, he bounces ships. He doesn't do the same ship all 50 weeks. So if it was me, I would want to be bouncing ships. I might even bounce cruise lines too, just to shake it up. Because God, if I was on the same ship for 800 days, I think I would probably go a little crazy. As much as I like cruising, I would probably go a little crazy. So, Ronnie, you're 2 weeks away from the MSC Seaside Yacht Club. Have a fabulous time. But I will say the Affogato in Vinci is far superior to the Affogato that you're going to get in the Yacht Club. Totally worth the $7. Absolutely. Barbara, is it better to book cruise excursion through the ship or through me, a travel company? Well, we don't actually book the excursion. But so you have the difference between the cruise line and third parties, really. So you have to do the research. Booking through a third party, 2 advantages generally. They're usually cheaper because the cruise line can mark up the excursion up to 100%, basically going to be the same excursion. And number 2, they're usually smaller. And we saw a great example of that in Alaska, where on Harv and Marv whale watching, there were literally just 4 of us on the boat. It was my dad, his wife, Rebecca, and I. And then he pointed out the Princess boat, and it was a double decker with over 220 people, trying to see everything. So generally they're smaller like that, but you've got to do your research. So Shore Excursions Group, our partner, they have a return to ship guarantee, and they have a money back guarantee. So should you happen to miss the ship, they will actually get you to the next port, plus they'll pay you $1,000 per person for the inconvenience of missing the ship. In terms of the local, tour operators, you've got to do your research. We'd probably do about 75% independent, 25% through the cruise line.
Yeah, and then sometimes we just wander around, don't do any excursion.
Yeah,
we've been known to just do that
sometimes
too.
we just do that. So basically, like, we tend to book the if you're going to be in a tender port, that's a good time to book the ship shore excursion, because those are going to be the first people off the ship. So if you want to be like one of the first people off the ship, book a ship shore excursion and a tender port. Otherwise, if it's just a pier port, well, then you can kind of decide what you want to do. Like most recently, we booked a shore excursion through Norwegian because it was a sunset catamaran sail. And literally the time that we were scheduled to come back, 7 o'clock, was sail away time. So we had to book that through the cruise line because they had to wait for us to come back. And in fact, they told us to run back to the ship when we got back. We're all like, yeah, no, we're walking. You're waiting. You're
Pretty
waiting.
much everyone on the excursion looked at them and said, nah.
Yeah. Is Royal Caribbean changing their port in 2024 from Barcelona? Where would I fly into? If you have not heard, Barcelona has voted to ban the cruise ship from the closest pier in the city. The ships can still dock at the secondary pier, which is where the bigger ships dock anyway. At the same time, there's another pier being built about an hour away from Barcelona. It remains to be seen. It's supposed to open in the first quarter of 2024, maybe by summertime. It remains to be seen what the city of Barcelona is going to do when that port is open. It's very possible they may say, that's it, all ships have to go there. So in terms of where you would fly into, we don't know yet. You may still fly into Barcelona.
Yeah, honestly, I would guess that you would still fly into Barcelona and just look into transportation between Barcelona and a further away port if that happens.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's another big major airport that's it'll probably get expensive.
Yeah, you're probably still going to fly into Barcelona, and then, you can guarantee that a whole industry is going to pop up with shuttles. Just like, you fly into Orlando and there's like 30 shuttle companies that will take you to Port Canaveral, which is an hour away to get to the port. You're probably going to see that. So you're more than likely going to still fly into Barcelona. It's going to be the cheapest. User 768, you're taking a cruise soon and you saw they will charge a gratuity per guest. Yes, they do. So in the cabin, you are going to be charged anywhere from, say, $14 to $21 per person, depending on the cruise line you're on and the category of the cabin you're in. You will be charged that much per day per person, which is distributed through the crew, primarily your room steward, your dining servers, and then there are a whole lot of people behind the scenes who get that. So yes, you can prepay it before you get on the cruise. And honestly, if you book a cruise that's not going for a year, I would prepay those gratuities, because there's a good chance that within this year, that cruise line is going to raise the gratuities. And if you've already prepaid it, you don't have to worry about paying anymore. Aaron's asking a question on YouTube. Is there a strict dress code with Oceana? Nope, they're very casual. And does Celebrity have the free chat app like Royal? I don't know if Celebrity has it or not. It's the same app. I just haven't looked lately to see if the chat is there or not. It should be, because it's literally the same app with a different skin, but we haven't been on Celebrity of late. Has anybody been on Celebrity of late and used the chat app? Is it there, just like on Royal Caribbean? You're welcome, Bill.
I will say Oceana is not, say, as casual as like Carnival. You're not going to probably go to the main dining room in shorts and a t-shirt.
It is casual. It is, just like slacks and a shirt. You don't need a jacket. You don't need a tie.
Yeah.
That was the big thing that Guillaume was talking about, that, look, we are casual. And he said, look, if you just want to be in sandals and shorts and a t-shirt, you can just go to the buffet, where their buffet is, and just go chill and relax there. If you're coming into the dining room, they want you to at least have like maybe nice jeans or slacks and a shirt, but it's not like suit and tie. It's not like
polo shirts are fine too. It's not like you even need a button-up shirt.
Mm-hmm. Lara, which cruise line is Pride of America? That would be Norwegian Cruise Line. It's a great little ship. Oh, snap. What's the item you should pack, but most people forget? Night lights are actually really good. Some of the newer some of the newer ships have like built-in night lights now, but especially in the bathroom because it's really dark in a cabin at night. So we have these little magnetic ones that are awesome. In fact, I did a TikTok about it that just stick on the wall and they're automatically they come on. A little laundry basket is nice.
My two things I would suggest are a small first aid kit because while they will sell, say, aspirin and maybe some allergy medication on the ship, it's going to be very expensive. So any like some Band-Aids, some pain medication, things for upset stomach.
They have those on the ship, but they're expensive. Okay.
Yeah. And then the other thing, if you have anything that is battery operated,
bring batteries.
Bring extra batteries because that will really cost you.
Yeah. And ships don't have, like, they basically have AAA and AA. So if you need D's or C's, they're not going to have those. You're going to have to get off the ship.
Or hearing aid batteries. If you have hearing aids, you bring extras.
And the other big thing is charging cables. Like whatever cables you need, your USB-C, your USB mini, whatever these cables are, you're not going to find them on the ship. You might find USB-C, but you might have to buy a GoPro to get it, for example. So they don't really have cables and things like that. Nurse Tara is saying that, yes, Celebrity Cruise Line does have the app. And she said her and her husband were using it on the Celebrity Summit in May. And they use the chat feature all the time. Thank you, Nurse Tara, for chiming in with that.
We haven't been on Celebrity since before the pandemic. So I really don't even remember if
they didn't have it back then.
Yeah, don't think they did.
And Macrina is saying spare eyeglasses. Bring spare eyeglasses. So that's a good one too. I like it. What about you guys? Anything else that y'all would bring?
Yeah.
So, and she also says she brings her Yeti. Renee.
Yeah, definitely a reusable water bottle is a good thing to have with you.
Yeah, you know, like this, something that says junkie on it. It's always a good thing to have, freak out people. It used to say cruise junkie, but cruise came off, and I just thought it was hilarious having the word junkie on it now. So Renee saying they were on the sun when the pandemic hit and definitely would go on it again. Do you get any discounts for booking as a group? Looking at Norwegian and you have 7 couples going. Well, that's a great question because only 5 cabins makes up a group on Norwegian. Yes, you can get 10% off the cabins and some other amenities. So basically the way the groups work on Norwegian specifically, we can set you up with a group and you get 10% off. Now this depends on how far out the cruise is. It needs to be out. So we have a wedding party, for example, that's going on a cruise in June of 2024. We started booking like, I don't know, 5 months ago. So we've been doing it for a while. But for the first 60 days, we could set it up where all of the cabins that I selected were 10% off. And then instead of just the free at sea with the 4 amenities, there were other amenities that you could choose from besides just those 4 if you didn't want to. So yeah, it only takes 5 cabins on Norwegian. So if you're and 10 people, so if you're setting up a group with seven couples, just reach out. We can get you all set up with a group. That would be great.
Although the rules for groups do vary from cruise line to cruise line. So, and not all of them are going to offer a discount.
No, Norwegian is one of the good ones. They do offer that discount. Virgin Voyages is great too. If you have 10 cabins, and this is just 10 cabins, they can be solo, they can be double occupancy. We can give you onboard credit for the cabins. They don't give discount, but they give some really good onboard credit. And plus, we can give extra onboard credit for balconies or above. I want to say Royal Caribbean Celebrity is 8 cabins of double occupancy. And Carnival, I can't remember exactly what they are. But yeah, you can get some pretty good perks for doing groups on cruise lines. So yeah, you just made your family tumblers and shirts for your next cruise. That's fun. You know, it's always fun when you're on a ship, man, especially on MSC. We were seeing groups like 12, 20 plus all coming through with the shirts. That's just hilarious. We actually bought these shirts for all 25 of our guests that are coming on the Valiant Lady on November 18th. I cannot wait. I've had a few of you reach out about that. The ship is literally sold out. There is no capacity available on that ship. I wish there was. I wish we could bring some more of y'all with us. But we're going to set up some more group cruises for next year, maybe 2025. So, folks, we've been doing this. We're coming in on 2 hours. So if you got any more questions, just go ahead and drop them in. I'll get them in these last few minutes. Thursday night, I don't really know what we're doing. We don't have any guests this coming week. We do have Princess is coming up soon. And
Still have to reschedule.
Avalon Waterways is coming soon. Norwegian is coming soon. And I'm trying to get Ama Waterways to come on. So if there's any folks that you would like to see me talk to on Thursday, certainly let me know. But if you've not looked at our live playlist on YouTube, we've had quite a few. We've had Royal Caribbean. We've had Oceana, like I talked about. We've had American Cruise Lines came on. They were great. They were absolutely fabulous. We had a Holland America. We've had some others that I'm blanking out on right now. But we've got a great live playlist, 1 hour of chats with the various cruise lines that have been absolutely fabulous. And we're looking to get more as well. So is the non-refundable discount significant? That's a great question, Ocean. It can be. It can be. It depends on the cruise line. So basically, the cruise line will charge you less if you give them, for the most part, if you give them a non-refundable deposit. Whereas if you have a refundable deposit, it generally goes up actually by the amount of the deposit. So like or
sometimes more.
Yeah, sometimes more. So it can be a significant, like it can be $500 less to go on the cruise if you do a non-refundable. Of course, if you have travel insurance, you're going to be covered for that. So yeah, it can be significant. Yeah, it can be significant with that. Most of our clients do end up doing the non-refundable deposits. So
But any travel agent can always compare the two price options for you.
Yeah. Nurse Tara's asking if Carnival's been on yet. Nope, not yet. I'm trying to get them on. I'm talking to Christy. Yeah, Christy is my contact over there. So I got to get Christy to come on. I'm trying to get Viking to come on, but they're like, yeah, no, we really don't do that. And Disney absolutely will not do it. Disney will not allow their people to come on the show, which is kind of a bummer because I'd really love to talk about Disney.
But you did have DCL Duo on.
Yeah, I did have the DCL Duo, and that's the other thing too. I'm trying to get some of my fellow vloggers to come on too as well, and some of the guests who have been around as well. So Ocean is saying, how much is travel insurance, and do travel agents give it free? We do not give it for free. Absolutely not. And travel insurance is based on 3 things: the cost of your travel, the ages of the travelers, and the state that you live in. Believe it or not, that's a big part of it. All 50 states in the United States have different insurance rules and regulations, and that affects the price of the insurance. Now, generally, the insurance comes in about half of what the cruise line offers, about half to 3/4 of what the cruise line is offering. That's what we have found in our experience. We offer Allianz Global Travel Insurance. The main difference between the cruise line and the independent is the cruise line insurance is really good if you're going to cancel the cruise. In general, they take care of getting your money back. If something happens to you, you get hurt on the cruise, the medical coverage can be extremely weak. So that's why we recommend independent travel insurance, because it takes care of, if you have to cancel, trip interruption, up to a certain reason. It's not canceled for anything.
Although you can buy.
You can buy that. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
But that's why we recommend independent, because it can give you some really good health and medical benefits as well. So. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up because I do actually have some calls that I need to do today. We're talking about the Norwegian fjords today, so I'm really excited. Kathy, do you have to have the full amount for the travel up front? Yes. Even if you get it through the cruise lines, you have to pay for the travel insurance up front because that takes effect immediately. So, yeah, all travel insurance needs to be paid now. Same thing with the flights on most of the cruise line. Like Viking and Oceana actually allow you to spread out that flight cost, but pretty much all the other cruise lines, if you're going to book flights, you're paying for the flights right up front as well. So folks, reach out if there's anything that we can do for you. Where's WalterTravel.com. If you're watching us on YouTube, it's in the links. If you're watching us on TikTok, click our logo, set up an appointment. Just set up an appointment with us. That's how it works. I have a whole online calendar. Set up an appointment. I'll either make a phone call, we'll do a video chat. Our services are 100% free. So we're just here to help you, and we will do as much or as little as you like. With some clients, we book the cruise. With some clients, we book the entire package, the flight, the hotel, the land tours. We also do land tours as well. We can book you to do land tours in Ireland, Scotland, Japan. We do theme parks. So we pretty much do it all. So we can wrap up, a whole package for you guys as well. So folks, thank you so much for joining us yet again on Sunday evening. Again, I don't know what we're going to be doing Thursday. It may just be Rebecca and I talking about a topic, but But we should be on Thursday night on YouTube at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And of course, every Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. We're right back here on TikTok and on YouTube. So first, I'm going to say thank you to everybody over on YouTube for joining in. Have a great day. We'll see you all on Thursday evening, hopefully, and certainly next Sunday.